Next, we will have on our agenda is to adopt the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
There is one change. Under discussion item number 7C, Athletic League update, I want to remove that from the agenda. Number 7C. That's the only change I have.
So I need a motion to adopt the agenda with the changes of removing item 7C.
I motion that we adopt the agenda with changes.
I'll second.
Ms. Allen, it's been moved in second. Will you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mrs. Currington,
Yes.
Mrs. Simmons.
Yes.
Mrs. Kilgore,
Yes.
and Mrs. Cherry.
Yes, motion passes. Next, do we have any community comments?
I don't have any up here. Anybody have in the audience? I do.
There you go.
Thank
April
you.
Thank
30th.
you.
Thank you, Ms. Al.
I knew it was on the bus.
Signing day is
April 30th.
Time.
What time, Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
I'll make sure I send you guys a reminder too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 3 on the agenda is presentations.
All right, we do have a few presentations this evening, catching up on a few that we missed. Our first presentation this evening is the acknowledgement and recognition of Miss Amina Smith. Is Amina here? All right. And Mrs. Amina Smith is the award winner for the Gym Project Dayton Arts Contest for Suicide Prevention. And Amina's here with her teacher. And you can come on up if you don't mind, both of you. And if you just don't mind, just giving Amina and Miss Elam giving us just a brief summary of Amina and her award that she won, and then Amina, if you don't mind, just sharing with us your perspective as well. We'd appreciate it.
Okay, so I'm Mrs. Elam. I'm Amina's art teacher. This was her art piece that she submitted to the Gym Project, and she was awarded the Shimmering Sapphire Award, and she also received a $500 cash prize for her art for this piece, but she wanted to share with you the meaning of the piece behind the piece that she created. So she has something written to read.
This piece represents someone trying to get out of their sunken place. By swimming up, the chains that were once so engraved into the sea floor snaps. They swim up to the light, praying to make it out. The light means that there's something to have hope for, something to keep going for. Even though the depression still lingers to drag them back to the same sunken place, it gets better. Eventually, they'll make it out and be ready to start a new life.
Nice.
And Ms. Elam, can you share, Amina and a few of our other art students have work that is on display in a couple different places?
Yes, yeah, we've been busy. So actually, so Eva participated in this one as well. You saw her in the first picture. So she participated in this contest. And then we have 2 students, Olivia Chrisman, who you also heard from earlier, and Alex Fisher. They both have work on display at the Cincinnati Art Museum, the 15th through the 20th, so it's on display now. And then we have 16 students, including Eva and Olivia and Amina and Alex that I mentioned previously. They all have artwork on display at the Dayton Art Institute currently, so for the Congressional Show. And the awards for the Congressional Show are May 4th. So that's a really big deal. Last year, Alex won 3rd place, Alex Fisher. So then, so that will be coming up May 4th. And before May 4th, May 1st, the high school will be having their annual art show, our second annual art show of the year. It'll be Thursday night, 5 to 7. So all of the artwork will be on display.
You said May 1st?
Yes, May 1st, 5 to 7.
At the high school?
Yes, at the high school. Mm-hmm.
So on behalf of the Board of Education and the administration of MENA, we have a certificate for you, recognizing and acknowledging. If you stick around for a little bit, we'll want to get a picture with
Okay.
all of the nominees. Now, Miss Eva, awesome, good stuff.
Thank you,
All right.
thank you. I got amazing pictures.
This yours? Nope, this is ours. All right, one down. Our next acknowledgement this evening is for Jamie Priest. Jamie is the Ohio High School Athletic Association Division II Indoor Track 60-meter champion, and he also had another accomplishment, and we will allow Coach Newell to come up and recognize Jamie and his accomplishments, because I know he was the indoor state champion in the 60 meters, but he also won a national event as well. Miss Cherry said, "You look like you fast."
Like you said, I'm Preston Newell. I'm the head track coach for the boys this year. Jordan Pasquit's not here. Come on, Kev. And then this is Kevin Lyons. He was also one of the coaches that helped out this year. Let's say knowing LJ for the last 2 years. Knowing LJ for the last, well, I've been at the high school too. Yeah, knowing LJ for the last 2 years, he really worked his butt off. I think no kid deserves this more than him, for real. That's all I really got to say.
Jamie, you got anything to say? Nah. Okay. What was the national event that you won?
Adidas Nationals, 60 meters.
When the Adidas National Indoor Nationals in the 60 meter dash?
Yes, sir.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Where was that held?
Virginia Beach.
Yeah. So with that, let's give Jamie's dad a round of applause for taking you to Virginia. Jamie, I've known your dad for a long time through sports, and I know he's very supportive of you and your dreams and your mission. And I got a lot of respect for what he's done for you. I've been watching you since you were about 6 or 7 years old, and it's awesome. Good job. Good job.
What grade is Jamie?
Jamie's a
Senior.
senior. Jamie's a senior.
Okay.
And what, the next meet, is this Friday, next Friday?
Next meet is going to be this Saturday at Springfield.
And then the following meet is Friday.
Yep.
Friday at Trotwood.
Yeah, Trotwood invites next Friday.
All right, well, appreciate it. Jamie already got his certificate, right? He already got his certificate, his award from the board. So we appreciate you, Jamie. Stick around, and we'll take a picture with all of you guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right. Next up, one of our frequent flyers. We'd like to recognize Mrs. Danielle Cossey for being awarded the Hoopla STEM Teacher of the Year. And I'm going to ask Miss Marie Taylor, because I don't see Miss Miss Harden and Miss Taylor to come up and give a few brief words about Miss Cossey and talk about the award that she won, and then give Miss Cossey some time to speak.
Oh, hello, everybody. Hello. So I'm Mrs. Harden, principal of Westbrook Village. Mrs. Taylor, my assistant principal. And Miss Cossey was nominated. Actually, I need somebody else to come up, and she's taking a picture right now. Miss Cossey was actually nominated for a STEM Teacher Award by a colleague, Miss Joanne Sherrill, and she's sitting out there. You can stand up. They became friends when I hired Miss Sherrill last year. But anyway, she nominated her for this award. Miss Cossey went through a interview process with it.
You had to write an essay,
Mhm.
and then we did an interview with the board. And this one is a little different because it's all Dayton businesses.
Yes. So it was a surprise. She was unaware. They contacted me, let me know that they were so impressed, and I did tell them that she is not for sale. She's not leaving Trotwood anytime soon, and she's not leaving Westbrook curriculum. Are they here? She's not leaving Westbrook. She's staying with us. But anyway, I was excited, and the I can't think of the company the gentleman that called me from works at right now, but they were highly impressed with her skill set and her dedication to our students here in Trotwood. And she shows that every day with her commitment, coming into work, making sure she is the best for our kids at all times. The grants that she writes and the money that she receives for more towers in our building, for robotics, and everything that our kids are being exposed to at 4th and 5th grade is phenomenal. So we really appreciate and are so proud of her yet again for this. Since I was my 3rd year, this is like every year you've gotten like STEM teacher of something. Last summer we went to Martha Holding Jennings, sorry, that she won, yeah. You know, she does cooking club with the kids, and actually, next month, Ms. Kasi and some of our students are actually presenting at a STEM conference in May.
This time I'm sitting in the back seat.
Yeah, and the kids
boys
are.
presenting.
So you guys will hear about that at the board meeting at the end of May, because we're excited about that also. So we give you Ms. Danielle Kasi.
This is my 11th year here in Trotwood, so all of these are my former students. I claim all of them, and it's been really great to just build and see where the program's going. In the last 2 years, I've been able to do, we've counted up with my most recent grant, $25,000 in grants. And so now we've started that as well as Madison Park, so you'll see my counterpart up here very soon. If, you know, we survived the summer, we're both going to Costa Rica. We got Funds for Teachers are funding a trip to go to Costa Rica for 11 days. We're going to learn cooking there, small container farming, and to bring back a different cultural angle to our students. So look for details of that when we come back. And we are also, I'll be presenting at the Ohio STEM Learning Network in June, which is the largest STEM conference in Ohio. So that's a few things coming up recently.
Can I just say one more thing? And so the trip this summer with Mrs. Kasi and Mrs. Larson, who is at Madison Park, when she won her award last summer, and me talking to the other admin and people there and the person over that organization, they said, hey, will you take this back to your teachers and try to get somebody to apply, because the money is there for teachers to do exciting things over the summer and bring what they learned back to their school. They can pick the country they go to, everything's paid for, but people aren't utilizing it. So I passed it out to my whole staff, and of course, and she would be a taker, and they got it. So anybody else can do the
I
same.
mean, they're spending $5,000 to send us down there to learn from a different angle. So we can't wait to come back and show you what we learned.
And have a little fun.
And have a lot of fun. I'm going to go zip line through a rainforest.
So again, on behalf of the administration and the Board of Education, I want to present you one of many. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, let's give it a clap. Got some good stuff going on in Trotwood-Madison City Schools. Gotta share the word. And last but not least, I would like to invite up Dr. Lieutenant Colonel Graves and the Junior ROTC, award-winning Junior ROTC Robotics Club.
Oh, no, I told y'all to carry that. I carry the light stuff. All right, good afternoon or good evening.
Good evening.
As you said, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Graves. I'm JRTC as well as the Robotics Club, Robotics class instructor. We have with us members of our A and B team, the drone teams. We have 3 drone teams in the robotics club and 1 land robot team. Our land robot team, Sugar, Spice, and Everything Nice, consisted of Karma Williams and Lamari Harris. It started off with more than that, but those were the main 2. Never did get any competitions this year with the land robot team, but we're going to get back to it and hopefully get back to it next year. Our A team consists of the cadet battalion commander, the top-ranked cadet in the ROTC, Jonathan Favors. He's the team mechanic and the navigator. He's not able to be here today. And they're going to introduce themselves, but I got Jerome Lee and Mackenzie Reese, as well as Carly Smith, coder and the journalist. They are the Astro Rams. They are your last year's national champions at the All-Army JROTC, as well as at the high school regionals. At the high school level, they don't have anything above regionals, so they were your high school regional champions, and our region covers the top 10 states, Ohio, Michigan, and go all the way out west to wherever that ends up out west, and in Canada as well. This year, the A team was the all-around champion at the MX Aerial Showdown. They were all-around champion at the West Michigan Rec Foundation Aerial Drone Competition. They were the communications mission champion at the annual Miami Valley Drone Competition. And they are this year's Army JROTC Airmanship Award winners at the national level, competing against the top 40 teams in the Army that was invited from around the world. So. We also have with us members of our B team, the Trotwood Unicorn Flyers. We have Talia Brown, who's not able to be here today. She was the coder. Kennedy Foster, the journalist, they'll tell them what their jobs are, and Adrian Woodward. Last year, they were number 12 at the All-Military Nationals, and they were as their freshman year. This year, they were the Teamwork Mission Champion at the MX Aerial Showdown, the Skills Mission Champion at Kettering University 2025 Aerial Drone Competition Tournament number 1, and the Airmanship Award winner at the annual Miami Valley Drone Competition. B team is currently ranked number 29 in the world out of over 800, I'll back that up, that's 800 ROTC, out of over 1,900 teams, led by Ms. Woodward, number 29 in the world from the piloting skills. The competition this year is stiff, it's tough. It gets tougher every year because they almost doubled the number of teams from last year, as well as they change the course every year. We brought some of the things last year we demonstrated just flying around. This year we're going to show you some of the things they have to do. They have to do figure eights, arches, they have to move balls where the pilots can't even see the balls. So it's teamwork, communication, and it's a student-led thing. So I love it as the coach and mentor. All I do is provide the money and to get the transportation and get them there. Practice, I just sit back, because if you recall last year, don't ask me to fly it. But come on, introduce yourselves and do your thing.
Hi. As he said, we're the Asherams. I'm our all-around both teams, team captain, and our personal team's team captain, as well as the skills pilots.
I'm the team's teamwork pilot and the journalist for the team. I'm a junior, and I've been doing this all 3 years of my high school experience.
Oh, yeah, I have to.
Yeah, kind of forgot. And this game is just really a great way for both of us to experience meeting new people and work on our communication skills for the real world while doing something that we enjoy.
Nice.
Hello, my name is Kennedy Foster. I'm a sophomore at Trotwood-Madison High School, and I really enjoy the robotics competition. We go all around, we socialize, we learn new things about the new and upcoming technology world, so I really enjoy that. I'm the journalist for this team, and all I do is just document things and make sure we make strategies and we stay organized.
Hello, my name is Adriana Woodward. I'm a sophomore, and I'm currently the teamwork pilot in skills.
All right, and what they're going to show you very briefly, again, one of the skills pilot has to do, besides flying through an arch and make figure eights, they then have to pick between the small hole or the large hole. They fly through that, and it's a whole obstacle course they have to do. They have 1 minute to complete as many rounds as they can. She did 5.5, and she's up to 4. That's how she ended up so high world ranking, along with this, the autonomous. The coder has to actually write the code to get the drone to do the same thing, but a code, obviously. They have to fly through the holes, and then one of the objects is they have to be able to land without seeing. This is the bullseye. You can imagine that drone has to fit inside that bullseye. So you'll have the pilot, and you'll quickly see how they communicate and talk through it.
Now, I'm going to fly this model, see if it works. Sometimes it does, it does. The hardware has to be.
Now, here, right? Left? Yes.
Okay. Towards me. Towards me. That way. Look at you that way. Towards me, please. What? Towards me.
We'll be back to practice when we're done with this.
There you go, good job.
And then the B team is going to quickly show you, again, you think this was easy because it's big and wide, but again, 1 minute, they've got to do a whole obstacle course, and then try to land, and in this case, you're going to land on that small cube. No pressure. So we'd just like to say thank you all for all the tremendous support, for everybody supporting the concession stands. In case you don't know, this takes about $10,000 to $14,000 a year to run just the drone team with all the traveling. Next year we have to travel a lot more. We're going to Missouri,
Canada,
and
Maybe
Canada. We'd like to go to Canada. But again, we'd like to thank you all for your support, because without you all, it would not be possible.
Thank you.
So
Great
thank you all
job.
very much.
Great job.
We also have certificates for all of the team. We'll give them all to you.
All right.
And then you can hand them out as you please. Appreciate it.
Impressive.
If we can bring all of our young people up real quick, and we'll take a picture with our young people just before you head out.
Miss Allen, the students, they can take a picture.
Let's bring them up too, before they leave, yeah. We'll do it right over here in the corner. Miss Potter, you mind taking a picture for me? Right over here in the corner, yeah, up against that wall. You guys ready? All right, let's get the board kind of in the middle. And you ladies, young, short ladies, come on. Got everybody? Not only can this one fly right here, not only can she fly, oh, Miss Cassie, let's give Miss Cassie. Hey, my man. Hey, come on, bro.
Yes, that's right.
Miss Harden, Miss Taylor, and everybody else from Madison Park, come on up too. Miss Harden, Miss Taylor, and everybody else from Madison Park, come on up. I mean Westbrook. I'm sorry, I saw Madison Park over there. Well, that's why they didn't get up.
They know not to.
Get everybody? One, two, three, say Westbrook. Westbrook. All right, thank you. Thanks, folks. Good job, Miss Cassie.
Thank you.
What about me, boy?
Are you taking our resources and you send your child to a private school?
No, dear. Don't you be stuck in trouble.
Uh-oh. What happened?
She's trying to take our resources, but she sent her grandson to private school.
Listen, I have no control over that. My kids went to public school.
So we're gonna pay the bus your
Back on you.
Next up, number 4 on our agenda is the board report.
Did she skip it?
I didn't skip it.
Oh. We have board report?
Yeah, what's next?
Okay.
Is that me? Okay, well, just from the standpoint of summarizing what took place on the 12th, I thought we had a very, very good session, very informative, very direct with regards to the vision and the mission of the district, myself, and where we're headed next. We hope to, we'll kind of wait till everybody clears out a little bit. All right. All right. We hope to definitely over the next several months align ourselves with the strategic plan and work through that process. And I will make sure that I keep the board updated with regards to that. Over the next couple of weeks specifically, I'll be sharing with the district leadership team and some of the other stakeholders. I'll be providing a summary to them of the things that we went over in the retreat, and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right.
Item B is the rescheduling of the June 19th, 2025 meeting. Are there any questions?
Juneteenth. Yeah, Juneteenth holiday.
That's my grandson's birthday. But I didn't know why you guys were scheduled.
Yes.
Why we were rescheduling?
I think the recommendation was because we always have the last meeting, June 26th, the financial meeting, that we would have that meeting. We would
combine
another meeting on June 26th.
So the first meeting is as scheduled, and then June 26th will be the next meeting.
Any questions? Item C is the approval of the treasurer contract, August the 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2028. Yes, it's a bid. Are there any questions?
There is one. Is this both the bridge and the actual contract?
No, it's just for the 3-year contract, and the bridge will be, we will discuss that in the executive session.
It's on the person.
It's on the personnel agenda as well.
Yeah, it's on the person.
Okay.
Do you have any questions in reference to that?
No, I was just wondering. Just wanted clarity on what I was voting on.
So, I need a motion for the approval of the treasurer contract from August the 1st of 2025 through July 31st, 2028.
I'll move.
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. Ms. Allen, would you call the roll?
Mr. Lumpkin,
Yes.
Mrs. Simmons,
Yes.
Mrs. Currington,
Yes.
Mrs. Kilgore,
Yes.
and Mrs. Cherry.
Yes, motion passes. Number 5 on our board agenda, treasurer's report.
Okay, I have a couple items for you this evening. The first item is the approval of the minutes for March 6, 2025, excuse me, and the business meeting March 20, 2025. I think this should have been for action, but we'll just leave it because it's not for action, as information is supposed to be for action. We'll just leave it for information since we didn't change it.
Okay.
And then the next group of reports, we did have a finance committee meeting this evening with the 2 board members, Mrs. Simmons and Mrs. Currington, as well as the incoming treasurer, Jill Adams. Jill Adams. It was very lively. We talked about a lot of things. The report for the rest of the board is under your executive tab on board docs, so you can see the complete report that we went through. But we will go through 3 of the reports this evening. The first one is a cash reconciliation report for March, and it does indicate that our PNC general account balance, $3,944,577.21. All of our investment balances, which include Star Ohio, Red Tree, Key Bank, Fifth Third, and Huntington, total $20,766,644.25. The total bank balance plus the minus the outstanding checks and the adjustment, made the adjustment bank balance to $24,502,289.48. That does match exactly to what is on the system, the financial system, the meta system. So the variance bank to book is 0. The next report is a spending plan summary report. This report I get off of the financial system, and this report is used for a lot of the reports that I present to the finance committee. So it does indicate your monthly actuals. It does indicate your fiscal year-to-date actuals for your revenue and for your expenditures. And then if you want to go all the way down to 6.01, excess revenue, we had a deficit spend in during the month of March of $841,000. And then overall fiscal year-to-date, that deficit spending, meaning that we've spent fiscal year-to-date $4.8 million more than we have received. And so it does indicate what we began with, and then it does also indicate what the purchase orders, outstanding purchase orders are. The last report is the the checks over $1,000. And there was conversation at the Finance Committee of basically two checks. And the two checks were to Montgomery County Juvenile Court. Those two checks were in the amount of $22,900 and $21,560. And we did pull the documentation for those checks, and it did indicate how many students we paid for at a particular cost, and how it came up to the particular totals, the $21,560 and the $22,900. Both of these checks, one was for the month of December, and the other check was for the month of January. And so you can see that the courts are behind, I would say, what, 3 months? Well, 4 months behind, because it's April. So hopefully we can pay all of our bills to Montgomery County before the end of June. I have one more comment. There was a comment on a check that we submitted to Rashonda Neal Nene for $7,000, and that was for professional development. And I don't know if I did all of the checks. And so at this point, I would ask for action on to approve the financial reports for March.
Before that, Ms. Allen, could you tell me the amount for December again?
Oh,
What did you say? 21,000?
December was, $22,900. And January was $21,560. And this is for the number of days that individual students are incarcerated. And as an example, there's 3 students, they were billed for 21 days, and their per diem was $140 per day. And that totaled $8,820 just for those 3 students.
Thank you. Okay, we've heard the financial report. I need approval. I'm gonna make a motion to approve the financial report for March 2025.
I'll make a motion.
I second.
It's been moved and second. Ms. Allen, will you call the roll?
Mrs. Simmons?
Yes.
Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
Mrs. Kilgore?
Yes.
And Mrs. Cherry?
Yes, motion passes for the approval of the financial reports. Item C is the resolution to approve amended appropriations for.
And the last item I have is an amended approval to approve the amended appropriations for the period ending June 30th, 2025. And so I'm asking you today, the total appropriations is $59,052,381.20. And so I'm asking today that you approve that increase of appropriations.
Are there any questions? I need a motion to approve the amended appropriations for period ending June 30th.
I'll make a motion.
It's been moved in second. Ms. Allen, would you call the roll?
Yes, Mrs. Simmons?
Yes.
Mrs. Kilgore?
Yes.
Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
And Mrs. Cherry?
Yes. Motion passes.
And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Next up, number 6, superintendent's report.
Thank you. I do have a few items for information and one for approval this evening. Item A is the approval of the Westbrook Village Elementary Student Activity Purpose Statement and Budget via the Principal's Fund. There is an attachment that is on the docket that you guys can review if you have any questions. Item B is the approval of the junior ROTC overnight field trip to Peninsula, Ohio from June 9th to 13th, 2025. A description is also attached to the document. Item C is approval of the Trotwood-Madison High School girls overnight trip to Sandusky, Ohio from June 8th through 9th to participate in a shootout tournament, summer tournament. Document is also attached. Item D is approval of the Trotwood-Madison High School band out-of-state trip to Ecorse, Michigan on May 17th, 2025. Item E, approval of the donation from the Wright Memorial Chapter 212 of the Air Force Association. And item F, approval of the donation from the Dayton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for the care closet. I believe the check is for $300 for donation to our care closet here in central office. All of those items are on the agenda for your guys' review. And if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will ask for action on those upon the next board meeting.
Superintendent, for the F, for the donation for the care closet is on for action.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get that one approved. I am asking for action on that this evening.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So I need a motion to approve the donation from Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for our care closet.
I move.
Second. Ms. Allen, has been moved in second. Will you call the roll?
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
Mrs. Simmons?
Yes.
Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
Mrs. Kilgore?
Yes.
And Mrs. Cherry?
Yes. Motion passes for the donation for our care closet.
All right, thank you. The last item I have, of course, is item G, approval of the personnel agenda. I sent the personnel agenda a little earlier this week. Human resources, separation of services, 1, 2. Number 3 is the transition contract that Mr. Lumpkin was referring to. And then 4 through 12 are all supplemental positions, and I am asking for action on that this evening. Action on the personnel agenda this evening.
As Mr. Howard mentioned, he has already sent the personnel agenda for our review. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, I need a motion to approve the personnel agenda.
Motion.
Ms. Allen, has been moved in second. Will you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Simmons?
Yes.
Mrs. Kilgore?
Yes.
Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
And Mrs. Cherry?
Yes, motion passes to approve the personnel agenda. Item number 7 is discussion items.
There were 3 items for discussion. We did remove item C for reference to Mr. Lumpkin. We removed item C, and I'll follow up with the board with regards to that. Item A is summer programming. In your folder that I provided, there is a overview of all of the summer programming that we are going to provide. The majority, if not all, of our programming that we are providing this summer is grant funded. So our parents and our students do not have any financial obligation to participating in our summer program. K-5 Champions Champ Camp will be held at Westbrook Village from June 2nd through July 3rd. Those bulleted points are the activities and the summary of what the camp's focus will be. Expected enrollment is at least 60 students. 6-8 expected enrollment is at least 125 students. Skill development, social engagement, and that will be at the middle school, June 2nd through July 10th from 8 to 3:30. And grades 9 through 12, expected enrollment at the high school, 125 students. And the focus for these kids is to prioritize our 9th and 10th graders that have fallen behind. That will be in person Monday through Friday, June 9th through July 3rd, and that is 8 to 12. And then the additional opportunities are also grant-funded positions, not positions, but opportunities. Grades 2, 3, and 4, reading and math tutoring, Sylvan Learning Center, 4 to 6 hours per week. And then our 11th and 12th grade students that are credit deficient, they will have an opportunity to participate in the Graduation Alliance program, summer credit recovery, and that is a virtual program that we'll offer to our 11th and 12th grade students. And those hours vary by student. Following that is just a list of additional summer opportunities throughout the city and the city of Trotwood and the city of Dayton that we will be sharing with our families. Any questions on that?
Will we be providing transportation?
Transportation, definitely K through 8. K through 8. We are going to look at our 9th and 10th grade students, and we're going to try to pair them up with one of our middle school routes. Traditionally, we have not provided transportation to high school, but we do not want that to be a barrier. So we're going to work with our transportation department, Ms. Starks and her folks, and I'm pretty certain we can get those kids, if they need transportation, we can get them routed.
Yeah, we did not have a comprehensive summer program, I don't remember last year, so this is good.
We had a few things going on. I can't speak to them specifically, but
Not like this.
yeah, we just kind of wanted to
Not like this.
make sure it was all in one place. I know we had, what was the name of the program? We had Freedom Schools.
Yes.
Yeah, we did have Freedom Schools
We're not
last year.
having Freedom Schools?
No. Champions has taken the place of Freedom School.
Okay.
Yeah. Freedom Schools, we didn't, from my understanding, we didn't have a lot of success with just the operational aspect of it. You know, kids were served, absolutely, but there were a lot of operational concerns.
Superintendent Howard, what grades did you say transportation?
K through 8.
K through 8 initially, right now.
Okay.
And then we're going to work on trying to get our 9th and 10th grade students. And our 11th and 12th grade students that are credit deficient, it's going to be virtual for them. They're going to have to come in, go through the orientation process with Graduation Alliance. We'll get them a computer. Graduation Alliance, I believe, provides them a device, and then they'll work through that process.
And who will track that?
Graduation Alliance.
Okay.
Yep, Graduation Alliance.
And then report that back to the school?
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Those courses that they complete that are where they are credit deficient.
How long will Sylvan run? I know last year it went up until like the end of the year.
Probably the same. I'm looking at Miss Adams because probably the same. And there are also some targeted groups of kids for our K-5 and our Sylvan folks. There's some targeted groups that we're really going to try to attach them to. But those hours will run throughout the summer, and the parents can set those hours up with Sylvan directly.
And for the K through 5, how will that fare with the third grade test?
The academic intervention portion of that will provide some support with those students, but that specific group of third graders, I believe, will be addressed in a different manner of kids. That I think we always bring that group in, and Ms. Murdoch's not here today, but I'll make sure I'll give you that summary as well. But these K-5 kids, it's a targeted group. And we're excited about the partnership with the Champions program. There's been a lot of there's been a lot of positive feedback that we've gotten from their summer program. We don't have a whole lot of kids in their before and after care program, and we're gonna work on that. But we've gotten a lot of feedback about their before and after care program, and we're excited about that. And I'll get you a little more information about that.
Now, they took over for Sylvan, didn't they?
Champions?
Uh-huh.
No.
they took Freedom.
Yeah,
Freedom
they
School,
took over
okay.
Freedom Schools. Yeah, we had Freedom Schools last year, and now we're going to go with Champions. We've had Champions in our
They did
building
something.
all year.
Okay,
Mhm. They do before and after care.
okay.
Mhm. Anything else? Great questions. All right.
Next is legislative update.
Okay, Mrs. Cherry did ask me to provide a legislative update, just very general. So in your folders, if you pull document B, there's a lot going on in the state of Ohio with regards to legislation and how some of those House bills, Senate bills, how those things could possibly affect public schools. So what I did for the board this evening is I pulled a summary of all of those current bills that are either at the point of introduction, that are at the point of being in committee, and even a couple that are in the process of being passed. So I provided a summary. On top of the first page is going to be my summary, but the third page, there's a blank page in there, just the way it was printed. There's a list of all of the bills, all of the House bills, the Senate bills, and there's about 6 pages of them with regards to some of the things that are going on in the State House, and some that we are paying some very, very direct and focused attention to. And with that, I provided you on the first page just a summary of some of the bills, whether they're House or Senate, that I just kind of wanted to bring your attention to. And then there's a couple that we're going to elaborate on just a little bit. I'm going to have Ms. Allen kind of elaborate on one. But if you make reference back to the top page, House Bill 79, Sports Official Assault Act, if individuals assault sports officials, they're going to be, they're discussing, felonious consequences for that. House Bill 96 talks about lowering districts' property tax collections. 96, 158, additional language addressing cell phone use in all districts, going from no cell phone during instructional hours to no cell phones, period. And again, once again, that's going to be something that we are going to have to pay attention to, because, that becomes a management issue, because we all know that most of these kids' hands are connected to these cell phones, and we're really going to have to work on educating our parents and educating our students on, guys, this is just not a Trotwood thing. This is the law. So we're really keeping our eye on that. House Bill 145, increase student school hours required. They're talking about discussing increasing the amount of school hours for students. We're keeping our eye on that because if that happens, we will have to make some adjustments to our schedule. 145 for you guys, required school board members to declare a party or be nominated by primary election. So that is being discussed, and you can imagine why. That is being discussed in both the House and the Senate. House Bill 155, Senate Bill 113, Title VI certification. No established policy or practice that recognizes DEI. And with that Title VI certification, school districts that receive federal funds are required to sign off on a document that says, and actually we have to submit it by the end of the day tomorrow, sign off on a document that says that we do not have any policies, practices, programs that recognize or identify race as a factor in those programs. Now, we've met and the superintendents across the county, we all met with our attorneys, and we've had some very lively discussion about this certification. Our attorney specifically has said, we are okay to sign that because we, in our federal assurances through the CCIP, when we sign off on our federal grant money, we already sign off on something similar to this, and it's just the same. So go ahead and sign off, in essence, kind of keep doing what you're doing. So we're gonna wait until tomorrow, and our lawyer will be here tomorrow to provide some additional guidance, because there's also talk in Columbus that through the federal government, that there are going to be some injunctions filed for certain districts with regards to this certification. So we're kind of in a wait and see mode, but our attorney did say that if we do decide to, if we do go ahead and sign it, that we'll be okay, because it's what we do anyway. And then with the understanding that the nature of our demographic, the things that we do here for our kids, everything is inclusive, because we try to support everything everything in every aspect of that.
Do we have any specific policy, though, that mentions DEI?
We do not. We reviewed all of our policies. I reviewed them, and then the Neola consultant sent us a list of policies to go through, and there is nothing specifically that mentions DEI. Now, several years ago, we did have a position in the district that was a DEI position, but that position was eliminated through attrition.
Have we had our attorney draw up the definition of equity to give to our locally elected state representatives?
We have not. We have not. The Montgomery County ESC has put together a think tank, and it's going to include all 16 superintendents and some local politicians, and we are going to meet in the next couple of weeks, and we are going to have this conversation. And then through that conversation, the county is going to take a stance. And once I get all of that information, I will make sure I share it with the board. And at this point, most of the guidance from the legal departments across the county is very similar to what I've shared. You already checked these assurances. Keep doing the good work that you're doing, and let the politicians fight it out in court. Moving on, another one, House Bill 190, the Given Name Act. Students must be recognized by their given name at birth. House Bill 186, District Revenue, authorize a reduction in school district property taxes affected by a millage floor that would limit increases in such taxes according to inflation, and to require a corresponding adjustment in the school funding formula. And I'm gonna let Ms. Allen speak to that one just a little bit, if she's ready.
I was going to speak to House Bill 96, and we talked about this at the retreat, but just to highlight some of the things that are coming down the pike. The House Bill 96.
96, I'm sorry, I said that. 86, I'm sorry, 96.
That's okay.
Mhm.
House Bill 96, or substitute House Bill 96, is now in the Senate. It was in the House, and it was then recommended for a substitute bill, and now it has gone to the House for approval. But what they're proposing is a 30% cap on carryover balance, cash carryover balances, and how that is calculated is 30% of your total expenses from the year prior, and you compare that to what you have at that particular year. So it's just a comparison for that. And then the county commissioner piece of it, that requires county commissions to reduce their property tax rates if a district has more than 30% carryover balance. So that's, not sure how that's going to shake out, but that does cause us great concern. And then this is not part of any House bills, but just an FYI that the Auditor of State has implemented a new set of school financial health indicators for school districts. They've done it for cities and counties, but they have never done it for school districts, so that will be implemented starting July 1. So there's a lot of financial implications on this on the House Bill 96 as it impacts the Fair School Funding Plan. And so we're keeping a close eye on that. We do have our meeting with our consultant that helps us with our five-year forecast. Five-year forecast, we do have that next Thursday with the superintendent, Mrs. Adams, and myself. And so we do have a draft of the 5-year, but I like to go over line by line to make sure that all of our assumptions are crystal clear, and that when I present that to you guys, that I understand every single nuance of what I'm presenting. So you'll hear more about that in May.
So if you're over the 30%, you have to send the funds back to the state of Ohio?
That's what they're proposing.
Where will we be now? If that were like to be in place now, how close would we be to that?
And we're another $1 million. And I mean, it will have a substantial impact on our district. And it's going to have a substantial impact on all the 600 districts across the state of Ohio. Because one of the indicators that someone brought up to me is when you go out to go out, and you know this, I don't have to tell you, Mr. Lumpkin, but you know, when you're looking at your credit ratings, if you don't have so much over here in cash balance, then your credit ratings will suffer. So anytime we want to go out for debt, then those interest rates for that debt will be substantial, because we don't have this over here. So we're working through that. Our agency, our Ohio School Board Associations, BASA, all of us are working toward just trying to convince the legislatures that this isn't a good idea. But it's there, so we'll see how it shakes out in the Senate.
Just a few. Thank you, Ms. Allen.
They've just passed a very similar, I was in Indianapolis this week.
Okay.
They just passed a very similar law to that in Indiana that they just, like, over the last couple of weeks, it just passed in Indiana.
And excuse me, I want to say one more thing. Jill sent me this information. The treasurer of Princeton, she sent out something to her board and the community, and one thing she did say is that what the state has, they have her as a carryover balance of $97 million, and she only has $44 million. So I need to find out at the state where they have ours, because she really feels that they don't have the right information.
And maybe that's something that we can push to the legislator to say, your numbers aren't even accurate on what the public school districts have.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's just an attack on, it's just trying to funnel federal and taxpayer dollars into private schools is what it is.
And that's what we discussed this afternoon in our finance committee meeting.
Senate Bill 7, 8, you guys can kind of read those. Senate Bill 34, another interesting one, required districts to display at least one of the 9 historical documents in all classrooms: the Mayflower Compact, the Declaration of Independence, the Northwest Ordinance, U.S. mottos, "In God We Trust, with God all things are possible," the 10 Commandments, the Bill of Rights, the U.S. Constitution, or the Articles of Confederation.
But we banning books.
Senate Bill 48, auditing of all charter schools in a sense. 69, reforming laws governing the state retirement system. I think everybody needs to pay attention to that one. Senate Bill 105, Senate Bill 93, coincides with those other ones Ms. Allen was talking about, aspects of reforming school funding. Senate Bill 105, and this is always one in operations that we were always just taken aback by. Not the fact that Alyssa's Law wants to have wearable panic alert systems, but how we're going to fund them. You know, we scream all the time about these unfunded mandates. You got to do this, and you got to do this, and you got to do this. And then we're sitting here looking like, well, how are we going to make payroll? You know, and some of these systems are $250,000, $300,000. And we are actually already in the process of looking at some some wearable panic alert systems. And what that is in the event that there's a major emergency, you got something on your badge that you can hit in order to notify whether it's first responders, the office, so on and so forth. And a lot of districts have done this, and we were actually in the process of investigating the cost on those, and legitimately, some of these were hundreds of thousands of dollars. And again, the question is, where we're gonna get the money? Now, our goal is to try to find it, but this is just another example of, a possibly unfunded mandate. But there is discussion in the State House about how districts can fund that. There are some advocates that are out there. And then last, Senate Bill 127. And with 127, I provided a copy of an article from Columbus, and on the front of the article is a very interesting legislature from Columbus, Mr. Brenner. And Mr. Brenner is trying to reintroduce the aspect of almost academic distress in a sense, where he is bringing back the aspect of schools, if they don't perform, they should receive some dire consequences, including all the way up to closure. And again, here we have an individual from Delaware, outside of Columbus, I believe, who is going to tell school districts what should happen to them, and really has no relative understanding of what goes on in some of these school districts. And if you read the article, you will see that there is a lot of pushback on Brenner and what he's trying to do. But it is out there. I mean, it is something that is being discussed. The last time he tried to do it, it never made it to the House.
It never got out.
Yeah, it never got out of committee. But he once again is bringing it back with regards to ADC, in a sense, Academic Distress Convention. So something that we need to be aware of, and something that everybody who's out there and everybody that's watching has to understand. We do not have time to waste. This district has to move. This district has to move. There are some people that are have a very, very clear objective to try to overhaul public education. And what's going to happen is they're going to start with districts that are struggling if we don't get that together. So what we saw tonight, what we talked about on Saturday, that's the plan to move this district academically, and we've got to start putting it in place.
President Sherry, I was just gonna say that, someone sent me an article last Friday's article, and they indicated that Trotwood, Jefferson, and Dayton Public Schools.
This is this guy.
Oh, so that was the same article?
Same guy. It's not the same article, but it's the same.
Yeah,
and in that article you're speaking to, they talked about, of course, the districts in the county.
Yeah.
So, whether it's us, whether it's Cleveland, all of the districts that have the similar demographics,
exactly.
that's what it looks like. That's who the targets ultimately would be. Yeah. It was in the Dayton Daily News last week.
Yeah.
So we definitely have to
I'll send
understand.
everybody.
Yeah, we definitely have to understand that the urgency is not yesterday. The urgency is now. And my focus and my goal is to make sure everybody on our team and everybody in our buildings understand that. And we talked about that on Saturday. All right. And those are all of the updates that I had.
Thank you, Mr. Howard.
No problem.
Very informative.
Awesome.
Thank you. Would you want to talk about the building?
No, I'm gonna talk about that in my updates. My comments. Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you. Treasurer comments.
So item number 8, treasurer comments.
I did, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. I just said I attended both the National School Board Conference and the Ohio Association of School Business Officials the first 2 weeks of April. I had the opportunity to attend some very, very good sessions. One of the sessions at the NSBA that I really enjoyed, and it was a talk actually, was from the paraplegic Melissa, and I can't remember her last name, I was gonna look her up. But just her struggles and what she was able to accomplish as an Olympian for, I think, 3 Olympics, it was just amazing. And then the other conversation I had last week in a session was about ChatGPT. I have never used it, but I definitely want to use that because it was amazing what they showed. And then the other thing, just an FYI for everyone, they talked about passwords. So you don't have a whole book of passwords. I mean, just, they said basically everyone, personal or professional, you need to use a password manager. And I always thought the password manager, if I had a password manager on my phone, somebody stole it, they'd get on my password. He said no, because that password is almost like a sentence. So if somebody can remember a whole sentence, but he said it's very, very secure. So that's one of the things I got out of this session that I attended. That's all I have.
Next up, superintendent comments.
I have just a couple. First, again, I do want to make reference to the good work that I feel that the board participated in along with the administration during the retreat this past Saturday. I really look forward to working with everybody and starting to really align the mission, the vision, and the work of the district through our strategic plan. And we'll follow up with that here shortly. Graduation is May 20th. I'm pretty sure that that is the date. I will double check.
It is.
It is. May 20th. I had that written down, but you know, sometimes when I write dates down. May 20th. I will need to just let me know who's going to be attending. And usually the board members, if they have a gown, they ask that you do wear those gowns. I know you guys that attended last year. It's not mandatory, but we would like everyone to wear one.
We gave them back.
Gave them back. Okay. All right. So if you need one, we'll work through that and make sure you have one. All right. Also in your folder is the invitation for the Trotwood-Madison Educational Foundation Gala. The gala is going to be held on Friday, May 2nd at the Presidential Banquet Center in Kettering. It starts at 6:30, usually goes from about 6:30 to 9. The district is sponsoring a couple of tables. If any board members would like to attend, just let Ms. Potter or Ms. Allen know. And we will make sure that you have a seat. It is it's a dinner, formal dinner, along with a short program with regards to honoring former alumni, scholarship winners, and teacher and employee of the year. And the last item I have is yesterday I had the opportunity to attend the Franklin B. Walter Scholarship Banquets. This is the county scholarship banquet luncheon for all of the districts in the county. And our scholarship award winner was Christian Woods, who is a senior at Trotwood-Madison High School who plans to attend Clark Atlanta University.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had a great opportunity to sit and speak with him and his mother. They have a great relationship, and really nice program, really nice event. Each district had a scholarship award winner and a teacher or educator of influence that the young person brought up with them and spoke some kind words about Christian. So Christian did a really good job. I sat down there and helped him get his speech together right before, and it was funny. The first student that came up, he said something really nice about his mother and his father's parents. And then Christian's mother at the table, she sat around and tapped him on the shoulder and said, what you gonna say about me? And he just kind of put his head in his hands and said, this lady's tripping. But he did a really good job. He did a really good job representing Trotwood well at the scholarship. I believe the Franklin B. Walter is $1,000 scholarship. Yep. Oh, his teacher influence, I'm sorry, is Miss Maya Haig. And Mrs. Haig received the counselor. Mrs. Haig receives a $500 classroom scholarship that she can utilize for whatever she feels need be as far as just in the school, business school. All right, that's all I have.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Howard.
Hey, no problem.
Next up is board comments. Mrs. Clinton.
I thank you all for coming out here every other Thursday and sitting with us. It's always a lot of good information, but in this climate where our public school is facing funding and financial instability, legislative mandates, mental health and wellness for our children, it's an uphill battle. But what I am glad and what I can stand on is that I see that we have teachers, staff, a superintendent, a treasurer who are thinking of ways to combat every issue that is being thrown at us. I believe in the public school system. I have two daughters who graduated from Trotwood-Madison, who went on to college to graduate. So good things happen in public schools. We cannot let this government tear down what we have built and what we will continue to grow. Parents, I would earnestly ask you to contact your local politicians and make sure that you go out this year and vote. It's going to be very important. As you can see, we had a group of young people here today that I would just like to just applaud once again. Our valedictorian, the robotics team, the young, Jason Priest. We have good students here who deserve our best and deserve that we fight for them and continue to advocate for them on every level. And it's just disheartening to think that we are under attack like this. So we will continue to fight with you guys and continue to keep doing the great job that you all do every day. And I appreciate it, each and every one of you. I appreciate the job that you do. It is not easy.
Thank you. Mrs. Kilgore.
Since this past Saturday, it's been a very informative board meeting and retreat. Lots of information. Thank you for all the legislative updates. Just understand what's kind of going around. That's very important. It's nice to see what the kids are going to be offered, the students over the summer. Just some reinforcement with the programs, summer schools, and activities. That's always important to keep them busy. They lose things on their time off during the summer months, so to keep them active. And then thanks to all the presenters today, and congratulations on all the accomplishments and the awards for the teachers and students. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Lumpkin?
It was really, Saturday was a really good meeting, a really good retreat, just a lot of great information and a lot of progress that Mr. Howard talked about professional learning communities, talked about some changes to the strategic plan. But in light of what some of the other board members said, piggybacking on what Ms. Currington said, equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome. That's what public schools do on a daily basis. So I'm going to read that again because maybe there's some local politicians that are looking, since our district is on some of those lists or in some of those articles, but equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome. So you have to ask yourself, why would you want to remove that from helping educate children? And that's what I'll stop with today.
Thank you. Vice President Simmons?
I would just like to say, we attended the NSBA conference in Atlanta been 2 weeks ago. And one session that I attended, it was just on being wounded. And what we have to realize, not only sometimes are our students wounded, our staff and our teachers and our administrators are wounded as well. So you come in here every day and put on the game face and do what is unimaginable. We saw in so many of the kids today that were represented in all different areas, in athletics, robotics. We had a teacher who's going out and writing grants for her, and not just herself, her other team members, to go to another country to learn. So we have to be mindful and give each other grace as a team, and continue to work together. So that was just such a profound session for me, because I never really looked at that. I always worry about the kids, but the staff, you're wounded as well. So we just have to find it in our hearts every day when we come in here to give each other grace, because you do an excellent job for our students and with each other, your peers. So thank you for that. Saturday's retreat was astounding. Looking at the strategic plan that went from 15 pages to 2 definitely caught my eye, and I think it will be something we need to share with all of our community and stakeholders, because you will definitely understand where we're going, and where Superintendent Howard is trying to take us. For all the students that we honored today, thank the parents, thank the teachers, thank all of you for pouring into them daily. For Christian Wood, who's going to Clark Atlanta University, I think he was there touring last week, and my son Charlie, who's there, told me that a student ran up to him, and that made him feel really good that he remembered him. So making those connections. So we are doing great work here at Trotwood. So let's keep up the great work. We do get students in college. We do have students that a young lady talked about going to Paris. How many districts are doing that? So pat yourself on the back, give yourself grace, and thank you so much for all of your hard work.
Thank you, Vice President.
No?
I just would like to say, piggyback from all of the board members also, that our retreat was very informative, facilitated by Mr. Howard and his team. The revision of the strategic plan and the direction Trotwood is going is phenomenal, and I'm very pleased with our board and the district. We all know that we have room for improvement, but I think the seed has been planted and we are on our way. We all matter. All of us matter. And I really appreciate the hard work that the staff put into the students every day. I also attended the National School Board Association conference, and it was some really great sessions that I attended as well. Me and Vice President Dion was in the same one, and I mean, it was jaw-dropping. I mean, it was phenomenal. I was, at the end of the day, I said, that's it. We can wrap it up after this one. But yes, we did. She did discuss about, teachers and staff being wounded as well. So just take a look at that, and just, it's nothing to be kind to someone. So keep that in mind. I wanted to also congratulate all the students and the staff that worked with the students that was presented here this afternoon. Phenomenal. Just a phenomenal job. And I would like for us just to spread positive information and positive things that's going on in Trotwood versus what's negative. I shared with Mr. Howard today on Facebook. Someone was like, why is this helicopter out over at Trotwood? What's going over there and what's going on now? I mean, it's always something negative. And sometimes I just want to get on there, but I said, well, no, I won't do that. But there are some good things going on in Trotwood, and so I would just strongly suggest that we all promote positive things that's going on in Trotwood. I also wanted to congratulate all the seniors in the band that was offered scholarships. Some of them have been offered between $8,000 to $10,000 in scholarships, most of the seniors, and Amina Smith, who was offered a full ride scholarship, and she will be auditioning at Jackson State University. So just congratulations just congratulations to her. Like I said, great things going on in Trotwood. Be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. And that's all I have.
Hey, didn't the band win? They won a competition last weekend, too.
Yes, and they also won a competition, and they also was at the opening day for the Reds and did a great job. They did a great job, so kudos to the band.
I had some pictures.
Mr.
of it.
Bean.
I'll share those pictures. I overlooked that one. And for the record, the helicopter was here. We did have a mock crash.
Right.
Yeah, and we shared that information via
Yeah.
Parent Square, and I also shared it with the city of Trotwood, and they put it out too. But some people just
Sometimes,
they
yeah,
just don't
sometimes
look.
it's just, it's easier to say a bunch of negative things and
Yeah.
get some attention on
It
yourself
is.
than it is to know what's really going on.
And I heard our kids really paid attention
Good.
to that mock crash. So hopefully, and you know, just hopefully, I was going to say prayerfully on my behalf, prayerfully, not the board. I'm hoping that our kids take heed to that and we have a safe prom season.
Yes.
All right.
And with that being said, next we will enter into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual per Bill E Policy 0166 and ORC 121.22. G1, and to prepare for conduct or review negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment per ORC 121.22. G4, action may be taken. I need a motion.
Motion, I motion.
Second.
Ms. Allen has been moved to second. Will you call the roll?
Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
Mrs. Simmons?
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
Mrs. Kilgore?
Yes.
And Mrs. Cherry?
Yes. Motion passes. We will enter into executive session at 7 o'clock.
Motion.
Second.
It's been moved. Ms. Cullen, would you call the roll?
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
Mrs. Currington?
Yes.
Everybody tired.
Mrs. Simmons?
Yes.
Mrs. Kilgore? And Mrs. Cherry?
Yes.
Hit the gavel. God, please. Come on, quick.